Hi, today we are going to see the fourth series of UPSC 2023 Prelims 100 Simplified series. So, revision is very important for this series, and please make sure that you are making a short notes on main points that I am discussing. Students who are located in Palakkad can use offline benefits of our institution. We are offering classes like UPSC, CSE, KAS, KPSC as well as SSC examinations. Students can contact us through this phone number as well as this email ID. Based on the recent video uploaded, students have submitted their mains answer to me, and I have evaluated the answer and I have given the feedback to them. So students can use this benefit. Students can submit their answer through this email ID. So before moving on to the today's topic, let's revise yesterday's topic. So yesterday's first topic is blue transformation. Who released the report of blue transformation? It is released by FAO, Food and Agriculture Organization, and it is based on the two declarations. One is Declaration for Sustainable Fisheries and Aquaculture of the Committee on Fisheries, COFFEE of FAO, and FAO's Strategic Framework 2022 to 2031, right? And second topic is Counter Terrorism Committee Executive Directorate. Here, India chairs the 2022 Counter Terrorism Committee Executive Directorate, and CTED is one of the executive body of CTC, Counter Terrorism Committee, right? It is the both the Counter Terrorism Committee as well as CTED is formed on the UNSC resolution. And the third topic which we discussed yesterday was Breakthrough Agenda Report 2022. It was released by three agencies, as I have said yesterday. Two energy agencies, International Energy Agency, International Renewable Energy Agency, and United Nations Climate Change High Level Champions. So this breakthrough agenda reports covers more than two-thirds of the global economy, including G7, India, and China. It concentrates on five key top areas. As I have said yesterday, we can easily remember about power, road transport, and agriculture, and other two are steel as well as hydrogen, right? And the fourth topic is CSTO, Collective Security Treaty Organization. Sorry. So CSTO is formed like NATO organization, and countries that is present in CSTO is AB, Armenia, Belarus, 2K, Kazakhstan, Kyrgyzstan, as well as Russia and Tajikistan. Russia is the main member, so you can easily remember. Other two are AB, Armenia, Belarus, 2K, Kazakhstan, Kyrgyzstan Republic, and Russia, and another one is Tajikistan. And fifth topic is World Water Development Report 2022. They have made a report known as Groundwater Making the Invisible Visible, which is released by UNESCO. The point is you have to remember that it is released by UNESCO. And sixth topic is Sherpa. Sherpa is a representative from a country before any meeting. So yesterday we have discussed BRICS. Sherpa's meeting was held virtually due to COVID restrictions. And seventh topic is Henley Passport Index. And in Henley Passport Index, we have studied that they have released the ranking of countries by giving how much countries have given access to these countries. Here we have studied that India has ranked 83rd out of total countries. Last year it was 90th rank, and this year we have scored 83rd rank. We have improved our performance. And the two countries that is in the top of Henley Passport Index are Japan as well as Singapore. And eighth topic is Retail Direct Scheme. Retail Direct Scheme means before this scheme, retailers can access to the government markets, government securities through one and only secondary markets. That is NDSOM scheme, negotiated dealing segment or order matching scheme. But through this retail direct scheme, retailers can directly access to the primary markets, that is the retail direct gilt account. right? And ninth topic is Urban Water Body Information System. This portal was launched by Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs, but it was formed by National Remote Sensing Center, which is under the control of ISRO. It maps the how much water bodies are present in the each towns and as well as cities, right? And the last topic is design linked incentive scheme. Under the scheme, government has allocated 76,000, that is 10 billion crores. And there are three components in this scheme: chip design infrastructure support, product design linked incentive, as well as deployment linked incentive, right? So we are moving on to the today's topic. First topic is general network access. So what is meant by general network access? In India, we have many states, and some states produce electricity more, and they have to export the surplus or bulk electricity to the other states also. Before this draft rule, there was many procedures when they are sending electricity from one state to another state. There is lot of complications between the states. So in order to ease the transmission of electricity from one state to another state, government didn't pass the bill. They have drafted a connectivity and general network access to the interstate transmission system regulations 2021. So GNA means open and non-discriminatory access of interstate transmission system. This is in keeping with the concept of one nation, one grid. This system does away unnecessary contracts between power producers as well as bulk consumers for the delivery of power. Any producers will have right to access to any consumer so far the quantum contracted is met. Central Electricity Authority initiated the idea of GNA for proper planning of transmission system. So why is this GNA being is going to be implemented? Proper planning of transmission system, assured recovery of transmission charges from the applicant. So if they are sending from one state to another, in this bill they should give guarantee that they will get assured recovery of transmission charges from the applicant. Regulations provide for regulatory framework to facilitate non-discriminatory open access to licensees or general generating companies or consumers for the use of interstate transmission system, that is ISTS, through general network access and consolidate their related regulations. These regulations shall come to force on such a date on Central Commission may notify. That is what I have said. They have not notified yet. These regulations will come into effect. Entities eligible for connecting to ISDS. This is important point. Eligible entities including generating stations. First point is generating stations and captive generating plants, standalone energy storage systems, and renewable power park in the developer. So you can see that there are four types. Generating stations. It is easy to understand. Generating stations means it may be thermal power plant or solar power plant or wind power plant. These are generating stations. Captive generating plants means, if, imagine this is an apartment complex, right? In this apartment complex they will have some power systems. For example, they are having some solar power plants. They are producing the power plants and they themselves will utilize these power plants. It is known as captive generating plants. Standalone energy storage systems, easily you can understand it, and renewable power park developer. And second one is these are generating systems, power producing systems. First one is, next one is dedicated transmission lines. If the connectivity is granted to generating station or a captive generating project or a standalone ESS, that is energy storage system, the dedicated transmission lines should be established, operated and maintained by such entities. In the case of renewable power park developer, the dedicated transmission lines will be developed, owned and operated by the developer, right? In the case of renewable power park developer, the dedicated transmission line will be developed, owned and operated by the developer. So eligibility of general network access. The following entities shall be eligible for the grant of GNA. State transmission unit utility. For example, imagine a state like Delhi, where they will produce and they will transmit the power. So there will be a transmission utility on the behalf of state. So it is known as state transmission utility on behalf of distribution licenses connected to intrastate transmission as well as other intrastate entities. A buying entity connected to intrastate transmission system. A buying entity means a bulk consumer. For example, let us consider a small town, and this is a buying entity, and it will buy power from the other state or else from a bulk power producer. It is known as buying entity. And third one is a distribution licensee or a bulk consumer consuming to seek to ISTS. Trade licenses engaged in cross-border trade of electricity. Transmission licensee, so you can see here, yep, here they have given license to everyone, transmission, right, and consumer, as well as the state transmission utility. For auxiliary powers, entities connected to interstate transmission or whom connectivity granted under connectivity regulations has been effective shall be eligible for applying grant of GNA. Grant of GNA to entities other than state and transmission units. So who are the persons other than state transmission units can access GNA? Entities granted connectivity to ISTS will be deemed to have granted GNA. So entities granted connectivity to ISTS will be granted. So for example, Adani is producing power and he is producing power in Gujarat and he has to send power to Rajasthan. So for this type of entities, they will be giving license equal to the quantum of connectivity from the start date of connectivity. So how much power they are transmitting, on that basis they will be giving general network access to these entities. And there is also temporary GNA, that is temporary general network access. Certain entities like distribution licensee or bulk consumer directly connected to ISTS captive generating plant are eligible to apply to uh, TGNA, that is temporary GNA for ISTS. For certain entities like distribution licensing, for example, if there is a festival in the border and they want power and the power is feasible from next state only, they can get temporary GNA access. Or for bulk consumer directly connected to ISTS, or captive generating plant, etc., are eligible to apply for temporary GNA to ISTS. So now we will be looking after second topic, Swatch Sujal Pradesh. Here, Andaman and Nicobar Islands have become first state to become India's first Swatch Sudal Pradesh. So what is Swatch Sudal Pradesh? And who is certifying Swatch Sudal Pradesh? Swatch Sudal Pradesh is certified by Ministry of Jal Shakti and it has three important components. What are the three important components? Safe and secure drinking water supply and management. So, if the state has safe and secure drinking water management, it will be certified Swachh Sudal Pradesh with other 2 points: ODF, Open Defecation Free Plus, ODF Sustainability and Solid and Liquid Waste Management SLWM, and cross-cutting interventions like convergence, information, education, and communication, action planning, etc. So there are 3 points. When only these three important components are satisfied, they will be giving this Swachh Sudal Pradesh certification. So what are these 3 points? They should have a free and safe and secure drinking water. The water which is used for drinking purpose must be safe and secure. Next is regarding drainage. ODF. It should have open defecation free plus certificate, that is solid and liquid waste management, and it should have technology, that is cross cutting interventions like convergence, information, education, and communication action planning. That is, um, you have to remember that there are 3 points. 3 points are related to, first one is drinking water, second one is drainage water, and third one is the action plan taken by the state. The action plan like convergence, how they are going to converge the drainage from A point to B point, or drinking water from A point to B point. This is convergence, and how they are propagating this awareness, like information. How are they spreading their information through social medias or through pamphlets, through education or communication, and how they are planning these actions. So three components. One is drinking water, drainage, as well as action. All villages on Andaman and Nicobar Islands have been received Har Ghar Jal certification. It means every houses in the Andaman and Nicobar Islands are accessible to the water. That is Har Ghar Jal certification. Third topic is city gas distribution network. City gas distribution refers to transportation or distribution of natural gas to enable the supply of cleaner cooking fuel, like piped natural gas or PNG to households, industrial and commercial units like, as well as transporting fuel will be having CNG, compressed natural gas, to vehicles through a network of pipelines. So here, city gas distribution refers to two types of gases. One is piped natural gas and another one is compressed natural gas. So, for example, this is a source and they will be giving a pipeline to every house. From this, for cooking purpose, they will be supplying piped natural gas, and for um, transportation they will be sending compressed natural gas, where this ga- vehicle will come here and fill their gas chambers. So there are two types of gases. This comes under PNGRB Act 2006. PNGRB grants authorization to entities for developing a CGD network, including PNG network in a specified GA of the country. So uh, CGD sector has four distinct segments. CNG predominantly used as a auto fuel. So we know that many vehicles, especially in Delhi, are using compressed natural gases for buses, like buses, auto, etc. Use as auto fuel, whereas PNG is used in domestic, commercial, as well as in industrial segments. So what are the benefits of CNG? Benefits of CNG are very low level of emissions. Yes, when compared to the fuels like petrol and diesel, CNG uses only very low level of emissions, unlikely to ignite due to high ignition temperature. So there will be no problem of ignition, because it will ignite or it will get fire accidents only when there is very high temperature, or else there will be no problem. So unlikely to ignite due to very high ignition temperature, lowest injury and death rate per vehicle mile, etc. And what are the benefits of PNG? Safe and assured supply, convenient to use, no wastage, no hassle for replacement of cylinder or cylinder booking, etc. So when PNG is implemented, there is also some benefits, like um, when we are transporting cylinders from one place to another, there is a lot of problems of accidents. But when it is transported through the pipelines, the cause of accidents will be less. There will be no wastage, there will be no leakage, no hassle for replacement of cylinder. We don't have to book for the cylinder and wait for 2 to 3 days. It will come automatically through the piped natural gas. CNG network is being seen as a major push for the India's evolving gas-based economy. So, what are the initiatives taken to promote CGD network? Reserve Bank of India has accorded the status of infrastructure to the CGD projects. So, this when they give the status of infrastructure, they will get some additional incentives. They can easily avail loans. Like this, there are many benefits when Reserve Bank of India gives status of infrastructure. changes in methodology for awarding licenses. So the government has made some changes in how to give license. Earlier, when they give license, they get the tariff based on the transportation of the priority fuel, that is CNG or else PNG. The charge will be based on the transportation of the priority fuel. But the government has changed to this criteria to just 10 percentage. Excuse me. Government has changed it to just 10 percentage. Earlier, the tariff was based on the tariff was based solely on the transportation charges, but now it is just only 10 percentage. As well as weightage is given to the infrastructure creation in three major segments of steel pipeline length. How much pipeline length is going on? CNG stations, how many stations have been erected, and domestic connections in order to achieve maximum network penetration in the market. So here only 10 percentage weightage is given, plus primacy is given to infrastructure creation, how much pipeline length is created, plus CNG stations, plus domestic connections in order to achieve maximum network penetration in the market. Incentives, they will be giving incentives to the bid winner. Who is winning in the incentive, they will be giving. Who is winning in the gas distribution, they will be giving incentives and market exclusivity for period of 8 years. So when you win this bidding process, you will get an exclusive market access, that you will get so you are only the one and only company who will be selling in that exclusive area, and no other company will be given access to that area. So you will get exclusive market test, that is two for 8 years, extended up to 10 years for performance. So for 8 years you will get directly sole market approach in that area. If your performance is good, it will be extended even up to 10 years. As compared to previous rounds, it is given only for 5 years. And you will be getting right to first use provides a greater incentive for the bidders to enjoy monopoly and to make good of their investments. So government has given many incentives, and government has given right to first use, so that they can enjoy monopoly in that market area, so that they can use their investments in a very good purposes. They have they have changed the licensing agreements in such a way that earlier the licensing tariff was solely based on transportation, but now they have reduced it to 10 percentage weightage only, plus they have given weightage to infrastructure, and how much CNG stations they have erected, plus how much domestic consumers they have, right? So we are moving on to the next topic. So you can see how much gas pipelines have been erected in our country. Next topic is Jaladoot app. So who has launched this Jaladoot app? It has been launched by Ministry of Rural Development, and it has been developed by Minister of Information as well as Broadcasting. This app has been identified for the groundwater level of the selected villages. So you can see that using this Jaldut app, government will be seeing how much water level is in the wells or ponds. This is exclusively for the Gram Panchayat development plan. So if there is less water in a well or a pond, they can make enough provisions so that during the post monsoon or during the summer season, they can make sure that the villages get enough water from their well or ponds or any water bodies that is present in their jurisdiction. So this app will help them. So let us go on to the details for this app. App will enable Gram Rojgar Sahayak (GRS) to measure the water level of selected wells twice a year, pre-monsoon as well as a post-monsoon. Here you should make note that pre-monsoon as well as post-monsoon. Why? So if there is a well located here or a pond located here, pre-monsoon it has for example 100 liters of water in that pond. And post monsoon also, if it has only 200 or 300 liters, okay, it is receiving the monsoon water well, and it is storing in the monsoon water well in that pond, right? And if it during the pre-monsoon as well as, and it has a capacity of 500 liters, right? The point to be noted is it has a capacity of 500 liters. 500 liters. But during the pre-monsoon as well as the post-monsoon, if it has only 100 liters, if it has only 100 liters during both pre as well as post, the panchayats can make enough planning so that it will store more water during the next year. This is the purpose of this Jaldut app. Data collected will be utilized for the Gram Panchayat development plan as well as MG Narega planning exercises. Right. So we are going to the next. So you have to remember the term Gram Rojgar Sahayak, who will be measuring water twice a year, pre-monsoon as well as post-monsoon, to capture water level of selected wells in the villages. Fifth topic is sugar mills. Recently, the Department of Food and Public Distribution issued guidelines for restructuring under Sugar Development Fund Rules 1983. The restructuring of SDF is aimed to facilitate the rehabilitation of financially weak but economically viable sugar mills which have availed loans under Sugar Development Fund 1982. So here, this SDF loan will be given to mills which is financially weak, but it can be economically viable. It can be recovered by giving funds. For those mills, they will be giving SDF. SDF is being utilized presently to grant loans to sugar mills for facilitating rehabilitation and modernization, baggies-based cogeneration power projects, production of anhydrous alcohol or ethanol from alcohol, conversion of existing ethanol plant into ZLD, zero liquid discharge plant, and development of sugarcane. So actually, at present, SDF is being utilized to grant loans for the sugar mills for facilitating the rehabilitation of modernization or baggies-based cogeneration power projects. So, when in a sugar mill, they will be using a sugar cane, right? So, after extracting the content or the juice from the sugar cane, the waste material, it is known as baggies. These baggies can be used for many purposes, for power projects, right? This can be used for power projects, or this can be used for production of alcohol. And the concept is we are using total production, that is we are using the sugar cane content, that is juice inside the sugar cane as well as the body of the sugar cane. So there will be zero liquid discharge plant and development of sugar cane. For at present they are giving only for this, but the Department of Food and Public Administration has given guidelines for restructuring in the way of to facilitate rehabilitation of financially weak and economically viable sugar mills. For those sugar mills which is financially weak, but it can be brought up by giving economic aid. Like that sugar mills, they are planning to give sugar development fund for these mills. These loans are provided at the concessional rate of 2% below the prevailing bank rates. So, for example, if the bank is providing the loans at a 6% of rate, these loans will be availed from the government or from the bank at 4%. So, it will be getting a loan from bank or government at a 2% below the prevailing bank rate. An outstanding amount of SDF loans is around 3,068 crores. The government has a huge debt in SDF loans, but it is useful for farmers. The key highlights of new guidelines are these guidelines are uniformly applicable for STF loans availed by all type of concerns, including cooperative societies, private limited companies, and public limited companies. The eligibility is sugar factory that has been incurring cash losses continuously for last 3 financial years. The factories that has been incurring cash losses continuously for last 3 years. Sugar factories net worth is negative and the sugar factory is not closed. Its worth is negative but still running like that sugar factories. These sugar factories can avail SDF loans for making two sugar seasons excluding the current sugar season is eligible for applying restructuring. Now next topic is Global Alliance for Industry Decarbonization. Who is launching this Global Alliance for Industry Decarbonization? Industrial Renewable Energy Agency, IRENA. Not only Industrial Renewable Energy Agency, there is two co-founding partners also, Siemens Energy as well as 13 companies. Siemens Energy is one of the main agency and another one is 13 companies, group of 13 companies. Out of those 13 companies, it includes Tata Steel, Jindal Steelworks. These companies have launched this Global Alliance for the Industry Decarbonization. So, what is the aim of this Global Alliance for Industry Decarbonization? New alliance aims to create net zero ambitions and decarbonization of industrial values in the pursuit of Paris Climate Change Agreement goals. It will strengthen dialogue and coordinated action by the industrial stakeholders from across public as well as private sectors. First meeting of alliance, which is held formed under Bali Declaration. So this alliance has been formed under Bali Declaration is planned to take place at COP27 Sharm el Sheikh, Egypt in November 2022. So right now, no, it has completed 2 days back, COP27 in Sharm el Sheikh. So this first meeting was held here. Decarbonization refers to process of reducing carbon dioxide emissions resulting from human activity in atmosphere. It plays a very important role in limiting global warming. Decarbonization would result in what are the benefits of decarbonization? Low carbon replacement with alternative fuels, electrification, renewable energy, etc. So this is an important step in decarbonization. Why means maximum of the carbon emission comes from the industry. And this global alliance has been led by International Renewable Energy Agency. So they are suggesting for more renewable energy as well as you can see the co-founding partners. Most of them are the pioneering industrial agents like Siemens Energy, Tata Steel, Jindal Steel, they have been producing lot of carbon emissions. So this has been a positive step from the industry side in reducing the global carbon emissions, right? Low carbon replacement with alternative fuels. For the help of technology, they will be developing alternative solutions to reduce the global carbon emissions. Supply chain neutrality with life cycle assessment, sustainable procurement practices, etc. Emissioning balancing with the help of carbon offset projects. So steps taken by India. So India has also taken certain steps. They have produced a new scheme which is known as Perform, Achieve as well as Trade scheme to reduce energy use across cement, iron, steel as well as chemical industries, right? So if you are a big company and you are producing certain amount of carbon, you can what you can do is you have to trade those extra carbon. They have set a certain amount of carbon. If you are producing more carbon limit than the uh, limit which has been set by the government, you can trade the extra carbon to a company which doesn't perform, which doesn't emit carbon. From that, those company can also gain revenue and you can also produce the certificate, right? Or else you can perform by applying extra renewable energy sources, or you can perform in good ways. Perform, achieve and trade scheme has been introduced. National solar mission has been promoted to promote solar power in India. LED lighting program limits emissions, right? So these are the steps, and the Global Alliance for Industrial Decarbonization has been led by IRNA, Siemens Energy, as well as 13 leading industrial players like Jindal as well as Tata. Okay, now we are going to the next topic. Smart Cities and Academia through Towards Action and Research program. SAR program has been launched under Smart Cities mission. Under this program, 15 premier architecture and planning institutes of the country will be working under smart cities to document landmark projects undertaken by the Smart Cities mission. So you can see the 15 institutions that is working under SAR projects, right? Maximum these institutions are from the states, and the states which is having out of the state there will be one good university, and these good universities will be participating in this SAR program. The institute will document the outcome of this program. So when a smart city is implemented, these institutions will study the effects of smart cities, how much benefit it has given to the people, how much benefit or how much pollution it has reduced, how much it has made the ease of living for the people. Like that, it will be studying and it will document the outcome of this project. It is a joint initiative of MOHUA, Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs, National Institute of Urban Affairs, and leading Indian academic institutions of the country. Right, so you can see SAR program, 15 premier institutions, 47 smart cities, as well as 75 case studies has been conducted in this program. So SAR has been implemented by 15 premier architecture institutions, that is you should remember, and has been implemented by MOHUA, National Institute of Urban Affairs, and leading academic institutions of the country. Next topic is United Nations Science Report. So this report has been documented by multi-organization, that is World Meteorological Organization, United Nations Environmental Program. As you can see the organizations, you can make sure that this report should be based on the environment, because World Meteorological Organization, United Nations Environmental Program, so these are regarding the environmental changes, right? So this will be report based on the environment. So you can see compilation of most recent studies related to climate change impacts and responses. So what are the key highlights in the United in Science report? Global fossils carbon dioxide emissions in 2021 returned to pre-pandemic levels of 2019. So we know that when the corona affected our country in 2019, we imposed lockdowns. When lockdowns are imposed, when lockdowns are imposed, the pollution level in our country came less or went down, right? After that, slowly our economy again started to work or run. After that, in 2022, again the pre 2021 itself, again the pre-pandemic level pollution has been achieved, right now. And they have given that 2015 to 2021 were the warmest on the record. Climate change has made extreme heat and floods worse in 2022. By 2050, at least 1.6 billion people around the world will be regularly exposed to 3 months average temperature reaching at least 35 degrees Celsius. So this point is very very important. You can write in the mails also. Means by 2050, at least 1.6 billion people around the globe, around the world, will be regularly exposed to 3-month average temperatures reaching at least 35 degrees Celsius. Right? Now we are moving on to the next topic. Chips to Startup program. So chips means it is based on the electronic industry. So it will be launched or it is run by organization or ministry known as Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology. They have invited applicants from 100 academia, R&D organizations, startups and MSMEs under C2S program. So they have invited applicants from academicians, students, researchers, R&D organizations, startups companies, as well as MSME under C2S program. C2S program aims to train. Its aim is to train 85,000 high quality and qualified engineers in area of large scale integration and embedded system design. We know that our Prime Minister, present Prime Minister, wants our India to be a leading player in chip manufacturing system. So government has been trying in many ways to develop chip manufacturing ecosystem in our India. So in order to develop a chip manufacturing ecosystem in our country, our engineers or our top researchers should be having a knowledge on the chip manufacturing. So in order to train these peoples who will be leading in the chip manufacturing system, government has started this chips to startup to C2S program. So under C2S project will be initiated in setting keys including energy and environment, healthcare, agriculture and disaster management, etc. It would be implemented at 100 academic institutions, startups and MSMEs can also participate across the country like IIT, NIT, IIT. Here, CDAC will be the nodal agency. CDAC will be the agency who will be giving applicants and who will be selecting to whom they have to give. Also, recently PM has announced that 16th January will be celebrated as a National Startup Day. So, government has been strong in implementing this chip manufacturing ecosystem in our India. So he has been encouraging many companies, or he has been encouraging even startups to go on this chip manufacturing. And government has been giving many incentives for the startups to produce more and more startup ecosystem in our India. So PM has also announced that 16th January will be celebrated as the National Startup Day. Next topic is Global Ocean Observing System GOOS Report Card 2022. Who has released this GOOS report card? World Meteorological Organization. They have released this GOOS report card 2022. Can you remember we have said about this World Meteorological Organization lately? United Nations Science Report. So they are the same organization releasing GOOS report card. This report card has been recently released since 2017 in partnership with the Intergovernmental Oceanographic Commission of UNESCO and other GOOS partners. GOOS is a permanent government global system for observations, modeling, and analysis of marine and ocean data. It highlighted the biological observations for the first time and identifies the gap in the system. It pointed out the high inequality in operational services like Indian Ocean, Atlantic Ocean, and Southern Ocean. Key findings are why we have to why there are many organizations concerned about the ocean, because oceans takes about 26% of 40 gigatons of carbon emitted to the atmosphere. 48% remains in the atmosphere where while terrestrial biosphere takes rest. So you have to understand that ocean plays a huge role in absorbing the carbon emitted by us or emitted by the nature also. Only 5% of platforms at sea carry biogeochemical sensor, including carbon or the carbon dioxide sensors. Agro profiling float array is providing 15% less data as compared to the pre-pandemic. So next topic is NASCOM report on startups. According to the report, more than 2,250 startups in India were added in the year 2021, over 600 more than what was added in the previous year. So in 2021 alone, 2,250 startups have been added. In 2020, 2,250 minus 600 startups. So in 2021 alone, compared to the previous year, 600 more startups have been added. Startups raised USD 24.1 billion in 2021, a twofold increase over pre-COVID levels. So now the economy is running in a good condition. So startups have raised 24.1 billion compared to the pre-pandemic levels. Startups provided 6.6 direct jobs as well as 34.1 lakh indirect jobs. Indian startups in 2021 had the highest growth rate in terms of deals and number of startups in comparison to the leading economies that like UK, US, Israel as well as China. Right? Now we are going to the next topic, digital monitoring report and verification system, DMRV system. This is one of the important topic and it will be even asked in science. So what is meant by DMRV systems? So, with the growing interest of countries to participate in the global markets to change the climate change goals, innovative digital monitoring report and verification are evolving in to track reductions in the GHG emissions. So now you would have understood what is the reason for digital monitoring, reporting, and verification systems are developed. It is developed for tracking the climate change in the countries. To increase the increased industry is due to GHG emissions targets for developed as well as developing countries as mentioned in the Paris Agreement, unlike the Kyoto Protocol. So I think many people will be knowing about Kyoto Protocol, or if people don't know, I will give it just a gist of Kyoto Protocol. In Kyoto Protocol, they have given conditions for only developed countries. These developed countries should they have a commitment to reduce carbon emissions. But in Paris Climate Agreement, which is held in 2016, I don't know, which is held recently, they have given in the Paris Agreement they have said that they have said that even the developed and developing countries have given commitment that they will reduce the carbon emissions. This is the significance of Paris Agreement. Kyoto Protocol in Kyoto Protocol, they have said that only developed countries have to reduce GHG emissions, whereas in Paris Agreement, both developed as well as developing countries came forward and they have given their commitment that they will be reducing their GHG emissions. So, in order to reduce GHG emissions, they have to track, right? And they have to report and they have to verify. So this new type of model, DMRV system, helps in tracking, reporting as well as verification. So carbon markets are trading systems in the carbon credits are sold and bought. One tradable carbon credit equals to 1 ton of carbon dioxide or equivalent amount of different greenhouse gas reduced, sequestered or avoided. DMRV system represents the first system to end digitalization of post 20 carbon markets. So you know that leading companies will produce, as I have said an example earlier, leading companies will be producing more carbon and they can sell this carbon market to another company which is producing less carbon, and they can these small companies can earn revenue up to a limit, up to a government prescribed limit. They can earn revenue from those big companies, and like that the big companies can also produce certificate that they are producing carbon limits up to a limit that is government prescribed limit. Similarly, international organization has given a limit, like that a big a advanced country or a developed country can sell their carbon credits to small countries, and small countries can earn revenue from this. Similarly, the advanced country can get a certificate that they are emitting a carbon which is prescribed by the international organization. So in order to monitor, report and verify, they can use this digital monitoring, reporting and verification system. So this is one of the first step in digitalization of carbon monitoring system or carbon markets, right? DMRV systems are based on artificial intelligence, machine learning, blockchain, smart sensors, drones, etc. So they will be using most advanced technologies, AI, machine learning, blockchain, smart sensors, drones, and you can even say they are using 5G technologies. Definitely, for this they will be using definitely 5G technologies when the 5G is implemented all over the world, right? So you can see the example of DMRV system. This is one of the DMRV system in the ship. How much they are, how much carbon is emitted from the ship. they can be report and send it to the International Maritime Organization. So they will have a list of data that these ships are emitting more carbon emissions. These ships are making carbon trade, carbon market. They are selling carbon to the another ships. Like that, they can have the full data with the International Maritime Organization. This is one of the example, right? So this is all for today. Please subscribe to my channel so that you will get enough information, and please share these videos to others so that they can also benefit. Thank you.